getting older. We all dread it, don't really want to talk about it, but our aging population is growing, becoming a critical issue for future growth. On the show, we traveled to Geneva to speak to Sandra Polaski, the Deputy Director General of the International Labour Organization, about the issues, controversies, and potential opportunities of us getting older. Getting old. It's an inconvenient truth, especially when you see projections of people over the age of 80 tripling between 2011 and 2060. And it's controversial to boot, since you can't really get away from topics like healthcare spending, pensions, unemployment, and even migration. So I sat down with Sandra Polaski, Deputy Director General of the ILO, and began by asking her how she really compared Europe to the rest of the world when it came to aging.
Aging is a phenomenon across the globe. It isn't only in Europe. It's affecting the whole globe, but it's affecting Europe and a few other countries, notably Japan, sooner than other places. It will affect others later. And a few emerging economies like China are being impacted beginning now and very, very quickly.
When we talk about aging, it brings up issues. You've got pensions, working age populations. How do you view it?
Right now, we have high unemployment in many European countries. In many European countries, we have relatively low participation by some groups, female, for example. We have a problem right now in Europe, a growing problem of what's called low-wage work. These are all areas where policies can make a difference. Just as an example, for women, many women don't work because they don't have affordable childcare. Many women would like to work part-time. These are things government can influence. They can influence minimum wages, they can influence the conditions of part-time work. Productivity has been growing faster in Europe on average than wages. Let's close that. Some of the Nordic countries do this very, very well, but not all of Europe is doing this well.
When you talk about migration, it's a sensitive topic. A lot of countries have been told maybe that's the way forward. Do you agree?
You take a country like Italy, which is growing old more rapidly than many other countries. The needs for elder care, for long-term care, for health care for those people is very labor demanding. Migration has to be part of the answer. And to the extent that migration is vilified, because we're in a cyclical downturn now where there are some job shortages, it's sometimes in the interest of some politicians to polarize the differences, and migrants become targeted as a cause. We're contaminating what ought to be a very constructive relationship where we have dialogues with other countries about how we can find win-win solutions.
Every time we talk about aging, we only hear the issues. Why is that?
It's a notion that labor economists call the lump of labor fallacy, and that is that there is only so much work to be done, and so there are only so many jobs to go around. If older workers get them, younger workers will lose. If women get them, men will lose. If migrant workers get them, natives will lose. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of how economies work. The silver economy is older citizens buying new and different services and businesses providing them, and yet someone has to pay. Personal savings is part of it, but government support has to be there as an essential safety net. Many governments have gone too far to the extreme of saying we're cutting back benefits, we're cutting back contributions to pension plans, we're cutting back contributions to healthcare. This is wrong. We know better than that. We have to see where do we need to tweak. Where do we need a bit more of a contribution during the working years? Where do we need a bit more spending during the retirement years? And that is really the way to look at it.